Good morning. Happy Sunday morning. Today is, let me just look at find my calendar. October the 6th, 2024. It is a cool October Sunday morning here in the Northeast. Yeah, I'm freezing. I have all my layers on. I'm freezing. It's supposed to be warm and sunny. Well, not warm, but it's supposed to be sunny today. So sunny will bring some warmth, I'm sure. Good morning, Mom. Is Dad watching with you? Good morning, Dad. Yeah, so we are same backdrop as last week. I didn't get anything changed around. We'll see. I'm going to work with it, my desk in this configuration for a little bit. I ordered some stuff for my cube shelf so that I can maybe do a little more organizing, get a little more organized over there and see how all of that works. And then once it's not quite a mess, maybe I'll turn the camera angle so that you can actually see some crafty stuff. Oh yeah, you like this? I love it. Ouch. Oh, I just got my hair stuck in it. Zips up that way. All right. So let's see. If you are here and you are watching live, leave me a comment so that I know that you are here. If you come back and watch the replay, leave me a comment. I like to know that you guys are coming back and watching these videos. Yeah. So I've been working on some stuff. I've been working on some Christmas cards that I'm going to eventually be posting for sale. If we have time at the end of the video, I want to show you some of those because they're really cool because I made the boxes to put them in. So let's switch down to the desk camera so that you can, oh, did I even say it? My name is Tina Bickford from the Tatted Stamper. I completely forgot to say that. Welcome to my craft room. Grab your coffee and let's get crafting. All right, let's go to the desk camera, which is here. Perfect. I don't have my ring light on right now because it does reflect off of the stamp cases. So I'll turn that on. But this is the card that we're going to make. It is Moody Mauve. That's the color. And it uses some die cuts and some two-step stamping and some embossing and some ribbon and all kinds of fun stuff. So we're going to make this card. And at the end of the video, I'm actually going to show you some alternates I made. What I liked about the card is it's actually, I mean, these bells are actually from this stamp set. It's this large bell here from Golden Greenery. I got this stamp set because I loved the die cuts, the individual die cuts that were in there, and we'll look at those. But they also, Stampin' Up! Sells 12 by 12 paper. You can actually die cut some of these images right out of the paper. So they're basically colored for you. And one of my examples, one of my alternates that you'll see at the end of the video actually has one of these bows die cut right out of the Golden Greenery vellum. So we're going to be using the Golden Greenery. We're really just going to be using the bells in this one. But you've got the stamps are, there's bows. There's one that's more of like a background and then the detail that you would put into it. And then the same thing here. This is all two-step stamping. So you would stamp one of these images and then the other, and just how you stamp them depends on your comfort level with getting the stamps lined up. They are photopolymer, so it is much easier to do two-step stamping with photopolymer because you can actually see through the the acrylic block and the stamp to get yourself lined up. So these two go together and the little cluster of berries, and then you have a small bell. Okay. So what I liked about it is, although the bells come from a Christmas stamp set, you could actually use this for a wedding card. So this I would consider, you know, I mean, you could do, I didn't do any sentiment on the inside, no sentiment on the front. So it really is a very generic card that could be used for any occasion. So let me set that aside and go over our supply. So we're going to be using the Moody Mauve ink. I'm also using this metallic silver ink that I've had for a very long time. I'm going to be using this Moody Mauve textured ribbon. Let me just turn my ring light on. I apologize for the reflection in the stamp case, but so this, I don't know if you can actually see, this got some nice texture to it. So this is actually a ribbon that is on clearance right now on and I didn't check the inventory to see if they had any of this left, but this ribbon feels very nice. Like it does fray easily, so I did not. I like it for putting around our card this way because the ends are tucked in the back, but I didn't like it so much when I tried to tie a bow with it because the ends frayed pretty easily. So we're going to be using that. We're going to be using the Golden Greenery photopolymer stamp set. And I'm really just, we're using the stamps for the bell, and we're using the die to cut the bells out. So this one, you get all of these awesome dies. These 3 dies up here cut out the stamped images, the berries. You get 3 different dies for the berries so that you can cut out, you can stamp 3 of the berry clusters and die cut all 3 of them out at the same time. You've got the small bell, the larger bell. I have actually taken it out of the case. You've got this die here, which actually cuts individual berries. And I don't know if you can see, like, there's like a little cut mark right in there that actually makes a little, like a little score in the berry. So it gives it a little bit of dimension. It's very cool. These 2 are standalone dies where they just cut the image, like pine, fir, whatever, bough here. And then these 2 dies, which these two dies, this is the reason I bought this bundle. Now you can buy just the dies separately, but keeping in mind that if you don't have the stamps to do, to do the bells, and I mean, probably do something with the bell because of its shape, but these ones, you got to find something a little more creative to use those for, because you wouldn't have a stamped image to die cut. But these standalone dies, and even with the berries, you could very easily just use the dies on their own for that one. So we're going to be using that, and I have already taken the stamps out and the die, so I'm just going to set that aside. And we're going to be using Spotlight on Nature. I have been watching this bundle. I've had it in my wish list for a long time. I love it, love it, love it. So we're going to be using actually just this little like hash marks. I don't know what you want to call it. Just this little background stamp. For today's card. I did already take that out, but we're also going to be using some of the dies that you can get with the Spotlight on Nature when you get the bundle. So the Spotlight on Nature is a cling mount stamp, which is the red rubber. You cannot see through them. Obviously, the the image is on the back. You do have to label these yourself when you get them the first time. I keep my little red rubber, the background right in there so that I can place all of the stamps back in their shapes, and I can see easily if there's one missing. And then for the dies that you get with this stamp set, you get they're nested circles, but they have different designs. So I did use some of the other two. There's 3 different designs and different sizes for each. You don't get a different size for every single design. They're mixed, but you can certainly do 2 different sizes for each of the designs. So you get 6 and 6, so 12 circle dies, and they are fun. They all have different. So the ones that we're going to be using is this little like slotted design here, and I don't know what this one. I did one of the alternate cards using this one that's got like the little I don't know. You can't really see that one. Yeah. So just the little score marks. So I'll show you when you see the card, but this one always reminds me of a paper plate. I don't know why, a paper plate. So we're going to be using those dies there. And just set that aside because we've already taken all that out. We're going to be using the Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder. I just got this. Again, another one. I've been watching it. I finally said I just can't not have it. So now I have it. And so it just makes like a plaid. You'll see. So we're going to use that. What else? I guess that's it. That's all of the supplies that we're going to use. All right. So I'm just going to go over the dimensions for the card, and then we're going to start putting this together. So our card base, I'm using the white. It is 8.5 by 5.5, and it is scored in half on the 8.5 side at 4 1/4. So I'm just going to fold that and burnish that real quick with my foam folder and set that to the side. So the piece that we're going to do, the Moody Mauve piece that we're going to do our first layer with, I wanted a really narrow border around the white. I wanted the front to be mostly the mauve. So it's just it's 1/8 of an inch shorter than the front of the card base. So the card base is 4 1/4 by 5.5. So your layered piece, and you can have whatever size you want for this. This is just my preference, is to have the smaller border around it. My alternate cards, I did do different widths of the border so that you can see what those look like. Okay, so this is going to be 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then I just had a piece of vellum that is 3.5 by 3.5, and a piece of white that is 3 by 3. This is so that we can die cut our circles out. Now, Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell just plain vellum. There are the Golden Greenery vellum. They do have that one, and you'll actually see an example of that in one of my alternates. And I've had this vellum for a long time. Oh, look, I actually cut 2 pieces. I've had this vellum for a long time. So long, I actually want to show you where I got it. Well, I can't tell you where I got it, but I can tell you that it was at my local office supply store, and it was in their clearance section, and they had this. It's like it's to do your own like wedding invitations. Look at this price. 50 cents. 50 cents I paid for this. And it had 50 8.5 by 5.5 vellum. There's ribbon in there, which is also, I'm going to be using the ribbon from this on our card today also, because again, that textured ribbon, I did not like it when I tried to do the bow. So I cut a different piece of ribbon from this. But yeah, so there's the ribbon. So you can just you know, stroll through your office supply store's clearance section to find some pretty cool stuff that you can incorporate into your cards. And then I also, so we have these two pieces, the vellum and the white, that we're going to die cut our circles from. But you do need a piece of scrap white that you can stamp 2 bells on. You know, because I'm using this silver, the metallic silver ink, it does take a while for this to dry. So I am going to, so I've already stamped 2 bells on another piece of paper, but I am going to show you how to do the 2-step stamping. I'll stamp this little scrap piece with my silver so that you can see how that stamps, and then I'll pull my spare piece. So let's do let's do our embossing first. Let's just move all of this out of the way, and we're going to do our embossing. So this embossing folder is considered, well, it's directional, which really just means that you have lines that go in, you know, up and down and, you know, left to right. But that doesn't mean you have to it doesn't mean you have to do it that way. But if you do want the lines to be straight, you can line up the edge of your paper with this line at the bottom. And that will give you straight lines up and down on this. So I'm just going to close my my cardstock between there. I'm going to put this in, I'm going to roll it off camera, but I'm using my stamp cut and emboss machine from Stampin' Up. I'm using the plate 1. When you're die cutting, this gives you the configuration of plates that you need to use. And when you're embossing, you have 2 different plate configurations down here, depending on whether you are using a 3D or a standard embossing folder. I am using a 3D. So this bottom is the configuration for the 3D. So it's just your plate 1 and then your plate 4. So I'm going to put plate 1, my embossing folder, and then my plate 4. And I'm just going to roll that through the machine. Like that. And we're just take that paper out, and look how beautiful that plaid is. Love it. Love it. Okay. Move those to the side. And then we're going to take the, sorry, I need my a couple of supplies here that I forgot to take out. Sorry. So we're going to be using some tear and tape and some dimensionals on our project. So with the tear and tape, I'm going to take this layering piece and I'm just going to flip it over, and I'm going to put a couple small, I'm just going to turn this around so that I can easily put this tear and tape here. You just put the tape on, and it just literally, you tear it. This tape is major strong. It's very, very strong. I'm just going to secure that and take the backing off. And I find it's easier with the tear and tape or any of that double-sided tape, any of it. it's always, for me, I think it's easier to come in on this on the side of it instead of trying to pick it at the end. I have much better luck. All right, flip this back around, and I'm just going to measure my ribbon here for what I need. So my card is 4 1/4. My card is 4 1/4 wide. This is 4 1/8 wide. So I just need my ribbon to be more than 4 1/8 so that I've got enough to wrap around, but I don't want tons of ribbon on the back side. So I'm just going to cut that, and it's cut at just 6 inches, a little over 6 with that little angled. All right, so I'm just going to place this on here. And what I'm doing is I'm actually lining my layering piece up on my grid paper. And then I'm lining my ribbon up also on the grid paper so that I can make sure that I am straight on the side. And I'm just going to come in and press that down on the tear and tape. Okay. So I actually really like the multipurpose glue, but when I'm putting ribbon on a card, I do like the tear and tape to secure, especially the 3D embossed papers. So I'm just going to put tear and tape all the way around here and making sure that I'm going right over that ribbon. That will help secure that ribbon a little bit more there. Just do that. And I'm just pressing that down, make sure we've got that secure. I'm coming in again somewhere on the side and just working my way. Oh, that doesn't want to come up. Okay. And we'll put this one. And you want to be careful because I just got my sweatshirt stuck to the tear and tape. This tear and tape is very strong. Very strong. There. All right. I'm just going to bring my card base back real quick. Make sure I'm opening it the right way. We are going to put tear and tape is very strong, sticking right to my fingers. And I'm hovering it over before I press down because that tear and tape is strong. So it is going to hold it. So there, you can see I just have a really small border around there. And I've got my ribbon. Okay, so now let's do some die cutting and some stamping. So let me just show you first the bells, because the bells, you got to stamp the bells before you die cut them. So I want to try to run as much stuff through my die cut machine as possible. So I'm just going to take my silver and my bells. I mounted the solid bell on one side of the block and the detail on the other. You do have to be careful when you're mounting stamps not on the center of your block, because you want to just make sure that you're not rocking your stamp. And if they're not centered on the block, if you have to make sure that you're just putting pressure in the right area of your block so that you don't rock it. So I'm just going to come in with all of that, and I have a hair in there that I do not want on there. So let me just get that off and tap that again. There, so you can see there's silver on that. We're just going to come in, and so I'm putting all of my pressure over here on this block. I'm not holding this side at all. I'm just almost treating this like my block is only half. So I'm going to just come in here Just hold it for a second to let that ink get on that paper. Set that aside. And voila, you can't really see this. Oh yeah, you can see the silver a little bit there. So this did take a little bit, this ink does take a little bit to dry. So I'm just going to set that one aside and bring back my sample, the one I did earlier, because we are using 2 bells. And I'm going to bring in my Moody Mauve. And oops. And we're going to stamp the detail. So when you're stamping the detail, again, you have, I did not wash that. So I got a little bit of silver on this side when I tapped it. So I'm just going to tap that in there. Like, see, I got the Moody Mauve on there. It's fine because I'm not rocking the stamp. So it'll be fine. So when you are doing this, when you're doing the 2-step stamping, you want to just look on the top of your stamp here for the position over your first image. And then just come right down. Same thing, I'm focusing all of my pressure on this side of the block and then lift straight up. And there you have that. Now, I did find on some of my samples, I do have to make sure I just wipe the stamp down in between, because the silver did transfer to my my stamp. So when I put it in my pebbled path, when I went to tap to do my second one, I got some silver on my ink pad itself, which came right off. I mean, I was able to get it right off, but you want to try to avoid that. All right, so we're just going to come in here. I am looking. Now, I'm also looking at an angle so that my head's not right in the camera. So I didn't line that one up as well as I did the first one. There's a little bit of silver on the bottom here, but that'll be fine. I'm fine with that. And, you know, mostly I'm fine with it because I just don't want to do it again. So I'm just going to set that ink to the side. And then we are going to get our plates. So we're going to do some die cutting. We're going to do some circle dies and cut the bells out. So because we're doing the dies, we need 1, we need 2, and just so that you don't have to keep looking, they put the instructions on 2 as well. And you're going to need both of your 3s. So do that. I'm just going to set the top one aside for right now, and I am going to build this up. So I'm just going to grab all of my dies here. And I did find it easier for me just to cut these, you know, in smaller pieces for the bell to send it through. So I am going to take my 3x3 vellum, and I'm going to put that on right there. And I'm going to take my 3x3 white and put that on, and one of my bells, because I do only have one bell die. So I can only do one bell at a time. I'm just going to grab a little piece of washi tape, and I'm just getting a little bit of the sticky off because I don't want it to really stick to my cardstock. So I'm just going to pull this one a little bit closer. I'm going to line up my die. And once I have that die lined up, what the heck is going on here, Tina? There. I'm just going to place the washi to hold the die in place. Now, these 2 pieces are big enough to cover. So I'm not going to actually tape these ones down, but I am going to make sure that they don't shift by putting I'm going to actually put this on the machine first, just in case they shift, so that I can adjust them. And then I'm just putting my top plate on, making sure they didn't shift, and they did not. So I'm just going to roll this through. And I'm actually rolling it through with my left hand because by having the handle on the right side, it was taking up some of my desk space, which I didn't want. So there's one of our dies. And with these dies, you do get a lot of paper in there that you have to kind of get out. I'll just set them to the side so that I can do those later. And then we have our vellum. And then we have one of our bells. Oh, I actually did pretty good lining this one up. One of the bells. All right. So we're just going to do the other bell. I'm going to take this washi again, line it up best I can there, tack it down, load it up in the machine. Sorry about all that noise, and I'm just going to bring my second bell back again, and I'm going to take my dies, set my dies over to the side so that I do not lose them in my little magnet tray. Okay, so I am going to also get my glue dots because I did find with the vellum, it is easiest to tack the vellum down with glue dots. Now, with the vellum, I'm going to actually, if you use glue, because it's see-through, so if you use glue or glue dots or any of that stuff, you are going to see, what's going on. So what I did was I placed this one just roughly where I thought I was going to want it. And then I took both of them and flipped them over so that I could see where I would want the glue dots, roughly. So I'm just going to take my glue dots. And I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool here. And I'm going to pick up some glue dots with my Take Your Pick tool and just place them on here. Now, mostly with your glue dots, what you would be doing is putting your element onto the sheet of glue dots and like this. Now I know that I can't go past there. I'll take this and put it onto the sheet of glue dots and pick it up, and it picks up that glue dot. So I'm going to do that, and I'm just going to place this. Now, when I place it, I can see those glue dots behind there. Can you see those? I can see them. So I am just going to place that vellum circle on there. I'm going to make sure my glue dots are down in this lower right section because it will be covered by this. I didn't do I completely forgot these. So let me just grab a piece of the Moody Mauve. Sorry, hold please. I'm unprepared because I'm unprepared. All right, so I'm just going to grab just a scrap piece of the Moody Mauve, and it's scrap. That's what I'm doing. And I'm going to take, remember I said that the Golden Greenery, like those two standalone dies that I actually bought the set for, that's what one of those, it's this one right here. So I'm just going to take this one, and yes, it's bigger than the paper, but what I am going to do is I'm just going to die cut a section of it because you see this is too small to have something this big on there, so I just want something a little bit smaller. So I'm just going to pick a section. I want this section over here, so I'm just going to pick a section here. And I am going to apologize again for doing this off camera, but I'm just going to roll that through the machine. And that back there. All right, so you kind of have this, it looks kind of like, you think, ugh, this thing looks like it's a mess. Well, it does, but we are going to trim it. So I want these 5 leaves here. So I'm just going to take this, I'm going to trim this one here, and then I'm going to come over and I'm going to trim it again here. And now I am left with the piece that I want. So I'm just going to do that. Put that guy up there in my plate also. And just get rid of that junk. All right. So with this, I'm going to do the same thing here with the glue dots. I'm just going to pick up a couple of glue dots here. Come on. And another one for this. I do like, when I put my elements on here, I do like them to be, I don't like them to be the whole thing glued down to the card, because I think it gives it a little dimension. So I like that. All right. So next step, we are going to take the 2 bells and I want to put them together. So I'm going to actually do that with a glue dot. I'm going to take the bell that's going to be on the bottom, and I'm going to put a glue dot on the front, on the top of the bell. You can't really see that very well, I'm sure, but it's there. And then I'm just going to position this one over this one at the angle I want them and press. Okay. So I also said we're going to use this little hash marks. So I just did, just tap, tap, tap. And I just did right on the bottom of the little tag. Just, it was really just to give it a little, I wanted to give it a little pop of color there. That's all I wanted. So do that. And then I am going to take my Stampin' Dimensionals and we're going to pop these up on dimensionals, sorry. I'm just going to put a couple dimensionals at the bottom, and then I'm going to have one dimensional. Why am I having a hard time picking this one up? I'm going to have one up here at the top, but kind of laid over both of them so that you can, so that it helps to hold both of them in place. Okay. And then I am going to remove those backings. That. And I'm going to position these. I liked the position of the bells so that it was like over, you know, so that this was like in the middle of the bells, but up a little bit higher. So that's just where I'm putting. You can put your bells anywhere you want. And then, because one layer of dimension is not nearly enough, I am going to add dimensions to this circle. Pull those off like so. And then I'm going to position this. Now remember, I have glue dots that are visible. So I do want to make sure, and I actually have one here holding this branch down that you can see. So I do want to make sure that I position this circle so that it covers all of those glue dots. And then press those down like so. Our card is coming together. Why is that? These things are everywhere. They get everywhere. I don't know how. I miss the trash apparently every time I throw them away. I know. All right. So the last step for this one is that ribbon. So I'm not a huge ribbon on cards and, you know, bows and all of that stuff. But I do like to add a little something. So if you want to add something to this, what you're going to do, just feed your ribbon under that and tie it in a knot. And that's all you have to do. Tying it in a knot gives you, it's a little like faux bow, like, okay, come on, Tina. Yes, I know how to tie my shoes. I can't seem to tie this bow, but all right. So the tails are really long right now. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to trim them off. So I'm just kind of like sliding it, you know, back and forth so that I can kind of get the position I want for that knot before it gets too tight. I want it right about there. And I'm going to just pull tight. Then I'm going to take my ribbon scissors. These are my scissors that are awesome for cutting ribbons. And I'm just going to come in and cut this ribbon at an angle. And then at an angle. Sorry for my hand being in the way. Angle and an angle. And then I have now a little faux bow right there. Okay. And then, I mean, this is a long enough piece of ribbon that I can do another card using that. So I will do that. So that is our card. Now you can put, if you wanted to put some other embellishments on here, some gems or something, you certainly could do that. You could actually put a bow up here on the bells. You could put a little tiny bow up there. You could do whatever you wanted up there. So that's our card. All right. So that's our card. And that's the one that I made earlier. So there they are. Boom. And let's look at some of the alternates. Just push these ones out of the way. Put them up there really quick. Okay. All right. So the first alternate I did this with Night of Navy. And again, like I went crazy on the clearance section on Stampin' Up's website with the ribbon because I wanted to be able to add a little bit of ribbon, but not like bows. So I did the same thing. I put this ribbon. This is Night of Navy ribbon. You can see it's a little bit lighter on the inside. So this, did the same technique. I put the ribbon on, then I tied the little faux bow. Same thing here. This one, I did a different, I used a different die from the Spotlight on Nature, a different pattern here, and then did a different die here, obviously. And this I just stamped. I didn't put any elevated images on there. I just wanted to stamp. I thought this would be more of a masculine card. But this is what I was seeing. So can you see that? It almost reminds me of a paper plate. Isn't that crazy? So there's that one. And then I wanted to do one for Christmas. So this one is using the Old Olive. And this is, again, another ribbon from Stampin' Up's clearance section. This is gold. This one's gold. And I did the same. This is the vellum from that Golden Greenery. You can see it's just got like a little bit of a pattern to it, a random kind of a pattern. So I didn't want to, because that one had like pattern on it. It wasn't plain. I didn't want to go with anything, you know, like I didn't want to go with anything like this on it. So I went with just something that I thought looked like maybe an ornament on it. I wanted to give it a little pop of color. This is what I was saying earlier with, this is the piece of Golden Greenery vellum paper that you're able to actually just die cut using the dies from the Golden Greenery die set. So there's that one. Same thing. These all have that Forever Plaid on there. And then this one I did in the Pebbled Path. And I decided to give this one just a pop of the Lost Lagoon color. And if you'll notice also on this one, I decided that I did the plaid at an angle instead of straight. So that's that one. So that's the card and all of the alternates. And let's see. Oh, we still have some time. So let me just show you some of the things that I have been working on. Let me just clear these out real quick. All right, so I have been working on some Christmas card boxes. So what I did is I made little window boxes. You can see those little window boxes for the cards. So all of these Christmas cards are going to be going up on my Facebook page for sale. So look for those. Here's this one. Love this one. Love, 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 with the little skates here. And these are just, the boxes are made out of cardstock. The cards are all handmade. There's another one here. This little green snowman. And then this one, I did a Christmas tree cutout. You can see that little Christmas tree cutout in there. And then those. And then this one. So some of these are cards that I did not use Stampin' Up! Products on. And some of them, like this one here, which is very, very detailed. So some of them, most of them are boxes of 10. But some of these more detailed and delicate ones, there's only 4 in. So there's those there. Let me just grab the other one. So I did this one. Let's move these aside. I did this one, which is all just random. This one's got all random cards in it. So if you don't like to send the same exact card to everybody, this is the box for you. And then this one with the poinsettia card. So this one, the cards actually are 3D. You look, they're 3D. Yeah, there's a couple more in there. I don't need to show all of them. I am going to post pictures of all of them on my Facebook page. They'll all be for sale. Yeah, so fun times. Mom, you really like that? You like the sled one? I love the sled one. So the other thing too is, and Mom, I'll call you after the video. So, one of the other things I'm thinking about doing also is doing, like custom orders. So if you want, like, let's just say you like the blue snowman one or, you know, the sled one or whatever, but you need more than 10. We can talk. I can make more than just the ones that are here. So, yeah. Let me just flip back to the me cam so that I can say my farewells. So here I am. So I hope you enjoyed the card. I hope you make some version of it. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine. I like the layout, just the stacking, the offsetting, the circles, and you don't have to use circles. You can use a different shape. You have a square or a rectangle or a heart or a flower die, and you just offset it, lift one up a little bit with some dimensions, and you've got a beautiful card. Yeah. So I hope you all have a fabulous Sunday and a good week, and I will see you next week. Yeah. So have a good week, everybody. Bye.